Hello everyone, welcome back to Tully Talks, and today we're going to be talking Clueless. Yeah, that's right, movie starring Alicia Silverstone by the name of Clueless. That's what we're going to be talking about today. But before we dive right into that, I'd like to ask you guys if I have earned your subscription. If so, hit that subscribe button down below, hit all on the notification bell, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that wonderful YouTube stuff. Come on guys, let's grow this community to the heights and levels I know that we can get to. Subscribe down below so we can get more content going. But let's get into it. Clueless. Movie came out 90s, starring Alicia Silverstone. She plays Cher Horowitz. We also have Staceydash playing Dee. We have Brittnaymurphy playing Ty. Donald Faison playing Murray. Wallace Shawn playing the debate teacher. Jeremy Sisto playing Elton, Elisa Donovan playing Amber, Justin Walker playing Christian, Don Hyja plays the father. He's been in a lot of stuff too, and Breckenmeyer plays the skater guy. We open up with the song "We Are the Kids of America" playing in the background as we see Cher and her friends Dee and Amber going in shopping. They live in California, I'm assuming like Malibu or something, a rich area, because they're going to these fancy places, hanging out. And then opens up in her bedroom, getting ready for school. She has, she kind of claims like she's just a standard kid in America, but is just living a more lavish lifestyle than, it comes with the territory because the father's a rich lawyer. He's a litigator of some sorts. So that's how they have their money. You can kind of date the technology, even though that the characters are using the best technology available to them at that time. You can tell that it was at the beginning of the technological age that we're currently in now. Like if it was filmed now, you definitely see a lot more iPhones, MacBooks, that type of stuff, iPads and what have you. So, like I said, we see her hanging out. Her best friend is Dion, played by Staceydash. One of the earlier jokes I liked, joke scenes in the movie I liked, was when she was talking about, I guess at that time, a lot of Haitian immigrants were trying to come to America to flee persecution of their country. And she totally mispronounced the word and kind of gave an argument that didn't even really go with the topic, and it just was kind of letting us know how like oblivious she is to the world around her. Yeah, it was kind of funny, I thought. If you're familiar with the movie, you'll know what part I'm talking about. At one point they give out the report cards. One kid, the Breckenmeyer character, the skater guy, threatens to jump out a window, and he goes over to jump out the window or whatever because he didn't get the marks he wanted. Which I don't know, that'd be kind of a hard joke to get past in a movie today. She tried to get her grades higher because she wound up getting like a C in the debate class and stuff like that. So she has this brilliant idea because all her other grades were able to be boosted up. She was able to talk her way through that. The debate teacher is sticking with the C, and she comes up with this great plan on how maybe if she helps find him love, he'll lighten up and then be able to raise the grade. And her and Dion make this plan to set him up with some other teacher in the movie, and the plan winds up working. They wind up, the female teacher and the debate teacher wind up, through her amalgamations in the background pulling strings, they wound up getting together, and as fate would have it, it did make him a happier person. He was able to, and he did raise her grade to an A, which impressed the father very much, because of his argumentative skills. He wants his kid to have an argumentative skill too, I guess. We also get introduced to Paul Rudd, one of his earlier films. He goes by the name of Josh, and he was a next stepbrother of hers through a marriage previous. Cher's mother, her biological mother, passed away during some liposuction surgery, and then the father married, I guess, years and years later, and the person he married had a son. That was Paul Rudd. So they were step siblings for a while, and so he came to kind of help the father out with some case files and stuff like that. So that's why he's kind of around. Let's see. Horrible driver. She's a horrible driver. That's a running gag throughout the movie. She's a horrible driver. At one point in the movie, she tries to get her license, and she almost hits a bicyclist, and that didn't go well. That went unresolved. She still, at the end of the movie, didn't have her license. Then we get Brittany Murphy's introduction into the movie, because after she was introduced kind of like after them trying to pull the strings with the teacher to make the teachers fall in love. She comes in as the character Ty. She's a transfer student. Brittany Murphy did well. I can't really picture any other actor or actress in this movie playing their parts than the ones in it. Brittany Murphy I've always found to be a fascinating character actor, and she would have been a great Harley Quinn at one point. But she wound up passing away a few years ago at the time of this recording. I'm not going to get too much into the details of her death, but it was kind of like a lot of confusion on how she died and who wasn't involved in that circumstance. So if you're interested in checking that out, look up her history. She's the only one at this time of the recording that's passed away from the cast of this movie. But Cher decides to take her in, and because she needs a makeover because she's totally clueless. And I love when they put the name of the movie in the actual movie. Someone says it because it's just funny to me, because of a joke in Family Guy where Peter Griffin goes and watches Superman 4: The Quest of Peace, and someone in the scene of that scene says, "We need Superman 4: Quest of Peace," and he goes, "They said the name of the title of the movie." So now I laugh every time they say the name of the movie in the movie. So I did the Peter Griffin laugh when Cher said she was totally clueless. So they take her under the wing and try to hook her up with this guy Elton, and that seems to be kind of going on a little bit maybe, but at some house party, the Cher's trying to hook those two up, Elton and Ty, and Ty gets hit in the head with a shoe, and then he comes over and helps her out, and they wind up dancing to this song called "Rolling with the Homies." So Now rolling with the homies. Ah! Elton winds up, Cher's father winds up making her come home. Long story short, Elton winds up trying to drive her home. He thinks that Cher wants him. She's trying to tell him that he's trying to hook her up with Ty. He's not feeling that. He wants Cher. He leaves her in the middle of in the middle of nowhere. She winds up getting robbed. She calls Paul Rudd's character to come save her. He comes and gets her, and doesn't really give her too much problems with that, because he understands how this stuff goes on. Then we see another new student coming. His name is Christian. He's looking very suave. He dresses like he's from the 50s and 60s. Very handsome young fella. Cher and Josh wind up bonding because she's trying to allure him into her life, because she's figuring how she's trying to set everyone else up for love, why not herself? And as the movie progresses, we kind of see signs of Christian perhaps not necessarily being into the ladies and being more into the men, which not a big deal, but she's not seeing these red flags until finally Murray happens to say to Cher, like, he's a cake boy, and that was their way of saying at the time that he was a homosexual, and Cher just is like, oh wow. Another funny scene I found funny was around this conversation of Cher finding out that Christian was gay. Dion was trying to learn how to drive, and she accidentally went on the freeway, and everything wrong that can go on a freeway short of an accident happened to them. They had a problem merging on the traffic, almost causing an accident. They get in this middle of this motorcycle pack on accident, and it scares them. They almost get hit by a Kenworth truck. So like I said, anything that can almost make you have anxiety short of an accident on a freeway, they were experiencing. It's a funnier scene than what I'm describing. It's definitely a scene that is up there as a recognizable scene. We see then a progression of Ty changing her character, because she experienced, these two guys played a prank on her at the mall where they were going to throw her off the ledge of the second floor of the mall, and Christian and Cher wound up saving her from the situation, and the guys were, oh, it was just a joke, and now everyone's listening and hanging on every word Ty's saying about the situation. She's kind of becoming a popular girl. Cher is starting to feel like a second fiddle, and you can kind of see the beginnings of what did I make here? What did I involve? How did I create this situation? Let's see, for sure. A lot of Cher's problems with relationships is she doesn't want to date a high school guy. She wants to date someone in college, a little older, which, by the way, Paul Rudd is in college trying to become a lawyer. At one point, Ty and Cher have this little argument in her home because Ty is hanging out with Josh, Paul Rudd's character, and Cher now realizes that she loves him. And so there's a bit of a jealous interaction between Cher and Ty calling her a non-driving license virgin or something to that degree, and they kind of like step back from the argument, realizing they're kind of saying things they're going to later regret. Ty leaves. One of the next scenes is Paul Rudd and Alicia Silverstone, Josh, and Cher helping one of the father's lawyers get this case together. Cher makes an accident. That can be rectified, but it's going to put the case behind a day or two. Josh defends her against the worker leaves, and Josh and Cher have this nice little moment on top of the stairs in the house where they realizing that they do care for each other and love each other, and they start doing the little smooches that come along with that type of scene. And then they did a little fake out near the end where she says, well, then you know what happened next. And it's been a while since I've seen this movie, so I kind of did forget what happened next. And I was like, uh-oh, are they going to show that, Cher's not a virgin anymore? But it was a scene of a wedding, and you don't see the groom and you don't see the bride at first. And she's like, relax, I'm only 16, I can't get married yet. And it's the two teachers that she hooked up secretly that got married, and all the friends are at the wedding. It seems like everyone's getting along now. You see Dion and Murray together. Breckenmeyer's character, the skater guy, he had a crush on Ty the whole time, and at one point she got mean with him and called him a slacker or whatever, and that's when Alicia Silverstone really knew she was changing with stuff, because she was always so nice to him and actually did want to be with him. Or Cher prevented them getting together first, but at the end of the movie you realize you can't prevent people that genuinely care for each other. You can't keep them separated. So you kind of see them together at the end, Ty and the skater dude, and then you basically see Cher wrapping things up with, basically saying you never really know what can happen in life and what you may have in front of you. That's what I take away from this movie. You really never know what you have in front of you as far as people and a good support system. And it's easy to take advantage of that and easy to forget sometimes, because people are there for you, and if you don't take time and slow down, you may miss something that can change your life forever, and that you don't necessarily know everything. And I seen a nice progression of Cher going throughout the movie of some, a spoiled 15-year-old, 16-year-old shopping, able to get whatever she wants. She's not watching the news and this and that. And then you kind of start seeing her getting a little bit more interested in current events, and maybe starting to understand how life outside her sphere works. And that's why I like this. This is a good movie. It shows that it's a good coming-of-age story, because there was a different Cher from the beginning of the movie and a different Cher at the end of the movie, and no one else needed to change around her. She needed to change because she was the one that was ultimately flawed at the end, and so that's why she needed to go through the change. And then you see everyone kind of still being a similar character at the end, with the exception of Paul Rudd, when he came to the realization too that he loved Cher as well. I give this movie a B. This movie definitely transcends the time period. It's made its way into pop culture history. That Dolce & Gabbana outfit, I believe it was Dolce & Gabbana that she wore, that yellow plaid number, that's one of the more memorable outfits in the movie, and that design is still used in fashion today. If you look up fashion, every year there's some sort of plaid yellow type of design being used, and that's inspiration from that number. And if you don't think so, let me know. Maybe I'm just talking out my butt. I don't know too much about fashion, but I don't really remember yellow plaid being recognizable before Clueless as it was after Clueless. So, and then the catchphrases, as if, and whatever, and that she referenced even like, I don't mean nothing by my generation, but what's with like the skater guys with extra baggy, the Genco jeans and the backwards hat and this and that. It's she's still acknowledging that even had a place in culture at that time. Definitely give this a B plus. If you haven't watched the movie, or if you haven't watched in a while, pop it in, have yourself some snacks, have a soda, have a beer, and enjoy some good times. There's nothing in this movie that feels forced as a joke too much. I can't really think of anything that's too cheesy or too forced in this movie that would make me give it anything below a B. The only reason why it doesn't get an A is because nothing really is ever perfect. It's just me being nitpicky with the movie why it doesn't get like an A minus, because in a general sense I've did the whole rich girl thing annoys me, but as much as it annoys me, I have to remember these rich girls are people too. They don't know any better in certain cases. But if there's a progression in character, that's where I should really look more at it. And that's what I'm looking at in this movie, is that the progression of that character went very well. She's smarter than she gave herself credit for. She's smarter than other people gave her credit for, and it's a good lesson for all of us to remember that we're not just pigeonholed into a skater or a stoner or a homosexual or a straight guy, or we're more than just one thing. You know what I mean? And Cher learned that in life, that we are more than just one thing. But yeah, that's my review on Clueless. If I missed anything or if I misquoted anything, let me know down below. I thank you again for stopping by Tully Talks. I hope again I've earned that subscription.